Okay, so we are working on the altered image assignment. We've gone through and you've looked at some pictures that have been changed or altered over the years. And the purpose of this assignment is to show you basically how easy it is to change a picture with current software and technology. So, here's the assignment. Here are different pictures that you can use in the assignment. We're going to download these two pictures here, and I'm going to show you a few different techniques in Photoshop that you can use to alter the images. So if you put your mouse over the link that says Bomber Takes the Field and just right click and choose a Save Link As. Right click and choose Save Link As. Then you should be able to go to your Documents folder and save the picture in your Documents folder. Okay, I've already got mine there, so I'm not going to save it again. And do the same thing for the St. X student section. You right click, you do Save Link As, brings up the dialog box, click on Documents, and put it in there. If you have an IP folder, you can put it in, that's fine too. We've downloaded a lot of things to the document folder, and this again is you're saving it locally. You're saving it to the computer underneath your desk right now. Okay. Once you have those downloaded, then you want to come to the Start menu down here and open up Photoshop. You might have to type Photoshop in down here, and it'll pop up. Click on it and open it up. It will take a minute or two to open. It's a very large program, and so it might take a minute. Have some patience. When it comes up, just say yes to the defaults. So it'll come up with a little dialog box that I don't have on my screen, and just say OK. All right, and then you'll have this blank screen like this. Now we're going to open up those pictures and start playing around with them. So go File, Open, go back to your Document folder, and I had mine in my Information Processing folder, and then you should see the pictures. Now we've talked about this in class. Up here in the corner of the dialog box, there's that little drop-down menu, and it shows different ways you can see the files. You might want to bring this up to a large icon so you can actually see what the pictures look like. So we've got Bombers Take the Field, which is the one we're going to do it. So click on that and hit Open. And notice that opens up a new tab here. So we have that maybe original blank one, but then you have this other tab that shows the Bombers taking the field. Go back to File and choose Open again. File, Open. And we're going to open up the other one, which is the St. X student section. Select that and click Open. And notice again we have another tab opens up. So we can go back and forth between those two pictures. Alright, so on this Bomber Takes the Field picture, what we're going to do is we're going to show you a couple techniques. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the band here, and just this section of the band, we're going to cut them out and then copy them and then move them into this area so it makes it look like the band is larger than it really is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So if you come over here to your toolbar and you click on the, it's the magnifying glass down here at the bottom. Magnifying glass down at the bottom, and then make sure you're on the plus up here at the top. Choose plus to zoom in. I'm going to come and put my mouse over where I'm zooming into, and I'm just going to click a couple times to get a little closer. Okay, then you can use the scroll bar to kind of move it around, move it up and kind of center it. That's a little large. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, so I'm going to come here and click the minus sign. And I'm going to click once just to zoom out just a little bit. If you want a little more, well, yeah. So then you go. Now we can. It's a little closer. We can work on it. The first tool we're going to use is what's called a polygon lasso. So if you come over your toolbar, the third one down, if you click on the little arrow next to it and hold, it brings up this list of three different tools. We want to use the middle one here that says Polygon Lasso Tool. Okay, go ahead and click on that. And what that'll allow you to do is it'll allow you, and we're going to kind of use around, cut around, and follow the lines. So I'm going to start here down at the heel, and if you click on the heel once and let go, you can see when you move your mouse that line follows. So I'm going to move up just a little bit up his leg, and then I'm going to click again, and now you can see the line is stationary where between the first two clicks. Then I'm going to move up and click again, and I'm going to stay close to his body as I go around and keep clicking. I'm clicking every few oops, I don't want to go that way. I want to go up his back here, and then I can go all the way here and click, and I'm going to go all the way over here and click. And this is a little tedious. Again, you can zoom in more if you'd like. I'm just trying to give you like a quick introduction to this. The more time you take and the more you zoom in, the better cutout you'll have. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and finish cutting this out, and you can pause the video and do the same. Yep. I just want to point out though, if you do make a mistake, if say you click here, you can start over by just hitting escape, and that removes everything also. Sometimes if you make a mistake, you can hit Control Z to undo it, although that's not working right here. But just hit escape and you kind of have to start over again. Also, I do want to mention that if you can zoom in like really close, even if it doesn't fit on the screen, you can kind of move your move the scroll bars here. If I go show this again, so I'm going up, and you zoom in to get a little closer, right? And then I'm just going to move the scroll bar. Oh, that's not working. Well, apparently you can't do that. Never mind. So I'm going to hit escape and zoom back out, so it kind of fits. Use the scroll bar to position it, and then cut it in. Alright, go ahead and pause the video, finish cutting it out, and then and we'll go from there. So when you're finished cutting it out and you come around, you just double click, and notice how I've got that image now selected. Double click, you see it's kind of a scrolling marquee there. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut for Control C to copy, right? Or you can come up to Edit menu and choose Copy. All right. Once you copy it, then we're going to paste it. So I'm going to go back. You can do Control V to paste, or just to show you, I'm going to come up to the Edit menu and choose Paste. Now, nothing seems to have changed, but really we have two pictures on top of each other. So you have to come over here to your selection tool. Come up the toolbar, and the one with the 4 arrows on it, come over and choose that. Then you can click and drag, and now you can see that we have two images of the band that we drew a circle around. You kind of move them where you want. You can also, I'll show you this, come up to the Edit menu and come down to Transform, and you can do anything you want with them here, including flip horizontally. You can maybe do something like this to make it look like they're running through that way, or you can resize them. Come down to where's Edit, Transform, go to Scale. You can make them bigger and smaller, however you want. I'm going to rotate this guy back. I'm just hitting undo. Apparently when you hit undo, you can only undo one action, which is a limitation of Photoshop. So I am going to go back to Edit and flip horizontally again. Kind of move them over here. Kind of make them a little bigger. Well, there you go. All right. So there you go. Now all of a sudden, I'm going to go back and click the selection button, and I'm going to apply the transformation, apply the changes. So now it looks like the band is a little bigger than it was. All right. So there's our first thing. That's the marquee tool. The second technique we're going to show you is the rubber stamp. So we're going to take a guy here, this guy number 22 that's running across the field, and we're going to eliminate him from the picture. And we do that by kind of cloning or stamping some whatever's in the picture here and covering up what he has. So to do that, we use the rubber stamp tool. So if you come over your toolbar and you look for the one that looks like a stamp, like a little stamper that you grab, and click the little drop down, the little arrow in the corner. We want to make sure we're going to use the clone stamp tool. Okay? Now, if you come over to the area that you want to copy from and you just click, it's going to give you an error message. In order to choose the area and just say OK, so what you have to do is if I want to copy this area, I'm going to hold down the Control or the Alt key. Hold down the Alt, and you notice how your cursor changes shape. See, it's a little target area. So click where you want to copy from. Now when I move over here and I click and hold the mouse, I don't know if you can see it, but there's on the video, but there's a little cross telling you where the where it's being copied from. And if I come over here and the cross hits the guy's shoe, notice the shoe then is being cloned, and we don't want that, so you have to be careful. So we're going to come up here, and now to get rid of that I'm going to come over here to this side, and I'm going to hold down the Alt key and click, and now I'm going to draw from this area. So I'm going to go and click and hold the mouse down, and I'm kind of getting rid of them, right? Getting rid of the shoe. Now I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to come back to my zoom magnifying glass, make sure it says plus at the top, and I'm going to zoom in to where his leg is here a little bit, and then use the scroll bars to move around, and then kind of get rid of up to that white line. We're going to have to add that. We're going to have to do something different with that white line here in a second. But I'm just going to come to this area of the grass here. Oh, go click back on your clone tool, your rubber stamp. Come to this area of the grass here. Click and hold Alt down and click, and now I can kind of get rid of a little bit more. You see how my mouse is about to hit the guy's shoe? See how the shoe's being copied down? So I'm just going to have to come over here with the grass over here, hold down my Alt, copy, and then I can get rid of that over here. Alright? And I'm going to get rid of everything including the white line. Now we're going to come down and we're going to add that white line back in. To do that, with your clone tool selected, and again I'll probably zoom in a little bit more. So click on the magnifying glass, and let's just zoom in a little bit more so it's a little easier. So now we're going to be able to see that white line. Come to the clone tool, and these are the clone options at the top. You can see how big my circle is right now, and that's way too big for that line. So I'm going to click on the clone size here, and I'm going to bring the size down to like one pixel. See, now I could be able to draw that in. Okay. A hardness is, you know, how sharp the line is. So I want to increase the hardness to 1%. So this example right here is hard. This example here is soft, because you see the edges kind of blur or fade in. Where here it's a harder, you know, cutoff in the circle. So I want it hard. Okay. All right. Once you do that, and close it, and then I'm going to come over here to this white line, this area here where the white line is. Hold down the Alt key, right? Click, and now when I come and I start filling it in the white line, I just got to make sure it's straight, but I'm building the white line back in. Okay, I'm going to come over and take this white line over here, hold down Alt, click, and then finish the white line. There you go. And it doesn't have to be perfect, for our example here, the more time you spend with it, if I wanted a whiter line, maybe I'm going to take this white from his shoe. I can clone that and make it the line a little more white. Oop, I got off this thing. So anyway, you got the point there, right? And then to finish off his body, you'd come back, increase the font size again to a 5 or 6, right? And take the grass, go in an area where there's a grass, and just kind of fill in, right? Now you see here, I don't know if you can see this, as I'm filling this in, you can see the arrow, or where it's taken from, the cross, is up there in that black area, and that's why it's filling in black. So I have to come down and I have to reposition where I'm drawing from to get that green and cover that across. Okay, here we go. You can pause the video and kind of keep doing it. That's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to pause the video and just cut off a little bit more of him. Okay, now that you've paused the video and you've worked on removing that guy, I just wanted to show you kind of, I did the same thing, except I just kept his head just to kind of show you kind of where it is and what it looks like. So I'm going to zoom back out. And so I got rid of his legs and his body, and I replaced his body with the pants of the band members. And I also, I don't know if you noticed here, I removed the flagpole. There was a flagpole right here, the blue one. I kind of removed that, and where the flagpole was on his face, I just kind of copied over kind of his, he had painted his face blue, so I kind of put that in. So you can get rid of the whole guy, hopefully you did, but it just kind of gets a little, for the purpose of the video, I just wanted to show you the technique, so I showed you that. Now we're going to do one other thing, one other technique, is we're going to kind of merge two pictures together. So kind of zoomed in a little bit, I'm going to kind of zoom over here, and we're going to look at this guy right in the middle, number 34. He's got a nice clean face that we can do something with. The other faces are kind of covered with a pole, so his face is kind of straight out. I'm going to zoom in on him a little bit. Come over here and make sure it's the plus, and I'm going to click on his face to kind of zoom in, right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our other picture, the CNS student section. And this guy right here has got a big old smiling face, looks excited. So we're going to take his head and his hat, we're going to copy it, and we're going to put it on top of this number 34's guy's body. Okay? So we're going to use the polygon lasso like we did before. I'm going to zoom in on his head a little bit, get it nice and close so it's easier to go around. I'm going to choose the polygon lasso again, and we're just going to cut him out. So you're going to include his hat, and you want to come down and get around his chin and get a little of his neck. That will be important. Whoops, see how I messed up there? I'm just going to hit escape and kind of start over again, right? And hopefully be able to get it this time. And I'm just going to, you need to kind of take your time with it. I'm going a little faster than probably I should, just for demonstration purposes. I want to teach you the technique here, and I don't want you waiting too long for me to get everything perfect. When you get done, right, you double click, whoops, and zoom, hit on. I removed that there accidentally, so I hit Control Z to undo, and you can see what I've cut out. I'm going to copy it again, Control C, or go to the Edit menu and choose Copy. Now we're going to come back to our Bombers Take the Field picture, and I'm going to paste. So go up to the Edit menu and choose Paste, or go hit Control V, and then there his face is right in the middle, right? Now, it's larger than it should be. So now we have to go back to our Edit menu and choose the Transform tool, and then choose Scale. When we choose Scale, we always grab from the corner, because then you can keep things in perspective, right? I'm going to resize it. I'm going to move it down a little bit on his head there, and resize it, make it a little smaller until it looks like it's the right size for his head. Okay, and then we'll come back here and choose the selection tool, apply the transform, and then maybe just move it a little bit. There you go. And now he's got his head. As we'll zoom back out, we'll take a look at it. So go to my zoom tool, minus, and now we can see how that guy is running on the field. Alright, and that gives you an idea of kind of how we can alter the picture. You know, we've cloned things, we've copied things, we've cut things out, we've moved in between different images, different pictures. So now it's your turn to go and have some fun. You can use any of the files here, take a look at them, see which ones you want to do, open them up in Photoshop, use your imagination, have some fun. You can use any of the other tools you want, but the picture has to look realistic. Alright, so have fun and good luck.